Hello,
Hi, what's up, Binho?
how are you? It's good to see
I'm
you.
It's good to see you too. Thanks for joining and
Thank
taking
you.
some time. Oh, yeah. So fill us in a little bit. Since the last time we talked, we were talking about there was a big move and you were starting to work on the meditation soundscapes, and you've updated us and posted some really cool things, kind of helping us to see how all of that was evolving. So tell us a little bit about that first.
Uh, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me, and my pleasure. It's weird because I'm starting to create some sounds for the meditation song, and I couldn't stop anymore because I finished that song, but I'm still, like my mind's still working in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm starting to create another one, like thinking in some, because that one was about water, like being fluid and,
Yes.
like moving. And I'm thinking about making something warm, like summer, sun.
Ooh,
You know,
ooh,
not sure
yes.
yet.
Sounds like you're kind of aiming in that direction. What made you kind of want to pick up the whole warm energy vibe? Tell us a little bit
Yes,
about that.
that's Brazil.
Brazil. Oh, I wish I was feeling like that right now. I feel a little cold.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, in Michigan, it's not terrible for a Michigan winter. It's okay. It's like in the 30s, which isn't bad for the end of January, and like not at all, but it's still chilly compared to Brazil. So,
Yeah, I know that, but I like that.
yeah, you must make that track. It will help those of us who are in the cooler climates right now
Yeah.
to kind of in moment with some warm thoughts and some warm energy. That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I can tell everybody who's listening in, I have heard the completed water track. It sounds amazing. You can hear that water kind of smoothly and fluidly running through the background of it. So it just kind of gets you in the mindset and the energy space of being fluid with your meditation, which is great if you're trying to just take a moment and realign. That fluidity and that sound will definitely help with that. So just to say it's an amazing soundtrack, and we're going to be releasing that soon so
Ooh.
that all of you can utilize and enjoy and take your meditation to the next level.
Yeah. So during the process of creating and recording the song, uh, I was trying to meditate. I mean, I was looking for some simple chord, or maybe I did two chords, like chord progression, but I was affected in some point, in some way, by the song. Like I was recording and my mind was like chilling, relaxing, and
Well,
I was not thinking in music at the time, but I was meditating and like just be fluid, like water, you know.
that's lovely. I mean, it just, when you can be working on a project or working on a task and it's something that's in sync and in flow with, where you want your heart space to be and where you want your thoughts to be, where you're trying to direct your energy, it just feels really good. So it sounds like this was a project for you that really resonated with you and felt really good to complete.
Yeah, music for me is like reading a book. I mean, I can go to the story, and traveling around. And yeah, for that song, I was like in this kind of scenery, like creating some ambience in my mind, and
Beautiful.
it's crazy, but it worked.
It's not crazy. It's beautiful. It's the way sound affects us. I think that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about, sorry, I'm bumping my camera here. Talk to me a little bit about, how all of this played in with your transition, because you were in the process of move and the seasons were changing and we were switching over to 2020. So I've been having a lot of conversations with people and even spoke about a little bit of a shift with the Coaching for Life or C4L channel, and how we wanted to really get more beneath the surface and talking about, this expansion in consciousness and awareness and how it's affecting people. So talk to me a little bit about how, the projects and the things you've been working on with music has been helping you with your conscious awareness or expansion, and how that is benefiting you, or how you look forward to it benefiting you in 2020.
Yeah. Actually, during my moving process back to Brazil was kind of it's natural, but it's kind of chaos, like
Mhm.
messy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's completely normal. I mean, I left in Michigan in end of October, and it's kind of the weather was beginning to be not cold but chill. And
Yeah.
I got Brazil and it was really hot. And like there's no there's no middle. It's and it's weird because your body, your mind can feel that, you know, because in Michigan my lifestyle was really quiet, really, like in a different velocity, speed. I
Mhm.
mean, sorry. So
Mhm.
when I got Brazil back, I'm starting to play with a band, and we had at least 3 or 5 shows weekly.
Amazing.
Like my first month here was like hitting the road, playing rehearsals, practice, and trying to find an apartment and traveling around to see my family, everything together. So my mind got a little bit confused,
Mm.
you know, but at the same time, we were talking about the meditation song, and I find a beautiful way to just stop and put my mind to work in a nice piece, and
Yeah.
it's kind of great opportunity to
Mm.
sit down and relax and thinking about my life and my changes, because in my opinion we need to take some change in life, like I love traveling around, I like moving, I like to, you know my plan is not have a plan. you know
Yes. Yeah. Very wise. Life is constant change, and change is constant. So, I mean, that's a really good way of looking at it. And you were talking about how you're expanding on some projects there where you are in Brazil, a band that you're playing with now, and you guys are playing regularly. And I was able to see some of the posts online. So this is phenomenal, and congratulations on this,
Thank you.
because it's a pretty big deal. Some of the places that you've been playing, and who you're playing with. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about that?
No, absolutely, for free.
All right.
It's nice. Yeah. Yeah. I can explain, but I'm very happy because when I start to work as a musician when I was 13 years old, and I'm still working as a musician, as a music producer right now, but playing like with bands, producing artists, and making soundtracks for ads. That's
Yeah.
amazing, because it's not boring. One week I have a big show, big concert, and another week I have like a really small concert for like 10 people, and
Mhm.
and you can feel like so close. And someday I have to make some advertisement soundtrack, and we have to run for other another direction, and it's kind of crazy energy, and you can observe a little bit of everything and put together, and then you can choose like, okay, this is good, this is not good,
Right.
you know.
It's so good. But just to be able to enjoy and have those experiences and to just be in the present, in the now, and be available to experience, like the fullness of that, especially with regard to your music, because it's something sounds like it's so close to your heart and the original part of yourself, like who you are, to be able to just enjoy that and be in that moment and experience all of these things stretching out right before you, like, hey, come over here, here's an opportunity, here's another opportunity. That's wonderful. That's gotta feel really exhilarating.
Yeah, it's not easy because sometimes we have like some doubts about, oh, that this project is gonna be right, it's gonna be nice, But I'm very happy because I've been working with excellent artists and clients. I'm producing a new album for a Italian artist that lives in Brazil, but
Nice.
we are building a new concept of sounds. I mean, because it's kind of electronic music, synth pop, but we are mixing, like, put together like hard guitars with trap and
Nice.
some pop beats and classical pianos. Everything is together in this album, and
Nice.
it's kind of big challenge, but at the same time, it's not boring, like I said. And I've been working with these artists, and I'm producing another band here in my city and making some soundtracks like Water Song. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Woohoo.
a lot of work.
Nice. Yeah, this is great. I really feel like, just as I've been talking with people and people have been sharing with me, I would say most people that I speak with feel like 2020 is going to be a time period for expansion, especially for those who have been putting in that work in 2019 and before to reach certain goals or to experience certain things in their life or to be able to make certain transitions or turn the corner somewhere in their life. Whether it's the way they've been feeling or things they want to accomplish, doesn't matter. Most people I speak with say that they feel this is going to be the year for it and that 2019 was really a year for transition.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that, with regard to your own personal goals and the things that you're working on?
Yeah, I feel the same. Like 2020 is gonna be at least a great year because 2019 was a kind of confused year. I mean,
Yeah,
politically, it's all about the everything was like making people making questions for everything, like, oh, and people arguing about that this is right, this is wrong. It's kind of
yeah,
leading everything, and but in my opinion, the chaos is necessary because that's the way we can see everything like messy, and we can like put something in the right place and start to think, okay, like let's go, let's start again.
I hear you. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
So, are you saying that you kind of feel like the chaos is kind of like the yin yang theory? Like with one, we're able to more clearly see the other, and vice versa?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So how did that chaos help you with being able to have more clarity about the things that, you were reaching for and really desiring?
Yeah. The yeah, 2019 was the year for me, kind of confused. It's not confused,
Yeah.
but it's different, because I was in the US, living in other place, different place, and for me, it's a learning process. When I have the chaos or environment like different and people arguing about politics or whatever,
Yeah.
I used to take everything just for learning, start to talk, stop to talk and start to listen to, you know. And
Mhm.
last year was for learning, and this
Yeah.
year, my opinion is for like go to work.
I really like that thought process. It's kind of the way I viewed it too. It was for learning. And anytime we're experiencing transition, chaos, anything that brings us, snaps our attention into the now or the present, we're going to learn because we're coming into focus into the now or the present.
Yeah.
I have been reading a really good book recently, kind of focused on that whole thought process. I was reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, which was one of those books that was just mind obliterating. I mean, usually it is because he really gets into the thought process behind presence and
Yeah.
being and different areas. But as I was reading it, I couldn't help but think, this is amazing that I was drawn to this book in 2020.
Wow.
And the
Yeah.
whole Yeah, and the whole thing is about being present and being in the now, and it being that time to, it's the only time that truly exists is the now anyways. The present is what exists. The past is gone and the future has not happened yet. And all the future and all the past and everything is just moving lapses of now, just pieces of time that you are in, that is the present. And that is what composes our existence basically.
Yeah.
And so when we think about life that way, even with challenges or things maybe that we don't feel so good about, that if we're thinking about it in the now, we're actually in a better place to take action and to have more empowered decision making because we're accessing our being. We're not accessing just like our personality or the self, the ego, the mind. We're going beyond that to a higher form of ourselves. And so we're more powerful in the decisions that we make and they're more effective. So it's a very interesting thought you brought up about chaos versus, tranquility and all of those opposites that just kind of shock us and draw us right into the present so we can be actually where we need to be. So they
Yeah.
have their purpose too. I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was living in the US last year, and a lot of great things happened. But at the same time, I miss my family, or I miss my friends, my country. Like I could learn that there's nowhere like perfect. There's no perfect place, you know, and that's the good thing about life, because you will always try to find the perfect place, you know.
Mm, mm.
It's
It's,
simple,
doesn't it?
simple like that.
It's all what it is. It's all the same thing. So you're right, looking for the perfect place or where the grass is greener, and really it's just a trick of the mind because it has to do with perception
Yeah,
and that elusive or sometimes misleading thing about emotions and how something makes us feel, and getting that confused with being in the present and what's actually where we need to be and the decisions we need to be making. So I agree with you that this whole thought process of not getting too caught up in that is important, because I kind of subscribe to that thought process of wherever you go, there you are. Traveling to different places, it's still people. It's still their life situations or their life stories, the things that they're concerned about, their jobs, their families, the putting food on the table, going to the market, having dinner with friends. It's the same thing in all these different places all over the earth. And so it just reminds you how connected we are. It's kind of an illusion, this whole thing of, I
Yeah.
need to get here. I was working through that myself, because my second home that I love to be in is Nevada. I really like the arid, dry desert
Nice.
environment. I do well in the heat, and I don't like being cold, even though I've been here my entire life. And my family's from here. I'm freezing quite often.
Yeah.
And you know, my name is Tara, that's like Sanskrit. That's like from India. I'm like, what am I doing in the US? Like, I always felt like, what's going on here? So I had this dream that I really, really wanted to get a place in Nevada so I could be a snowbird and go back and forth.
Yeah.
And hasn't happened yet, but that's because I was waiting for my son to get out of high school and all these different things. But I realized as I was working at that process, as I started kind of going deeper into the thought of being in the now and really enjoying and experiencing each moment, regardless of my physical location, which could also be illusory too, depending on how you look at it. I started to think, that's interesting. I noticed things felt the same or could feel the same.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't so caught up on being somewhere, I could feel those same emotions where I am presently at that I would feel when I was in Nevada.
It's amazing.
Yeah, maybe it's not quite as warm, but everything else was there. And I said, okay. So I got caught up in that idea or that thought, that emotion of wanting to do A, B, C, and D. And that's all I was thinking about. And so it was making my situation where I was currently at feel kind of like, So it was actually kind of negatively affecting my emotion over here where I was at right now in the present. And that's because I wasn't in the present, I was in the future. So it was creating anxiety and issues regarding that scenario. So once I let it go a little bit and said, okay, you know what? It'll happen. It's going to happen. But here's these things that I like about where I am and what I'm doing right now. That's when I started to feel like, oh, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, there you are. So I really appreciate you bringing that point out, because that's something that I had experienced, between 2019 and 2020, something that I learned, just kind of taking a minute to examine that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? When I'm making music, I I've been trying to share my feelings through the music. I mean, I'm living right now in a warm place, and even for meditation, I was trying to mixture like some quiet or chilling songs, but
Uh,
at the same time, we need some energy or some,
yeah.
and yeah, I was trying to make it like, okay, that this song is about me, it's about life, but I I've been working this one, and it's kind of piece of my body, my mind
Wow.
to this song. And when I was in the US during the winter, I was producing a guy from Brazil, and was a bossa nova song like Tom Jobim, or it's Brazilian music. But I was in a wind in the cold weather, and I couldn't make some warm music, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize that, and I started to produce that song because I was like, oh, okay, I'm not inspired for this song right now. I'm gonna wait. But my first month in Brazil, I mean, I just got in Brazil, and one day I was playing piano, and the arrangement just came like, wow.
Wow.
And I made in 2 days. I wrote and produced the entire arrangement for the song and sent to the artist, and the guy said, okay, right on the point, this is great. And I
Wow.
can feel like, okay, I was in other place. I don't know why, but when I just got Brazil and I just got a right feeling, I don't know. It's crazy, but
That's good. That's the other side of that thought.
yeah,
That's great because where your mind is at and where your heart is at will have a lot to do with that creative
yeah,
process. That's I'm not shocked that you were in Michigan and it sucked the whole like warm weather thing out of you because we're like cave people. We're like we're in the dark in caves like
yeah,
no, no, no,
yeah.
that's living in Michigan. So to come from sunny, warm Brazil and come to Michigan, I know that had to be an adjustment for you.
Yeah, but at the same time, I did a great things during the winter in the US and Michigan. Like I was playing and recording an album with Honeyman and play with Zizi Vava, Christian in the Day Nights, and it was warm.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I was feeling okay. This is different. You know,
It's
that's not
different.
right or wrong. It's just different.
No, that's right. That's a great way of looking at it. That's another paradigm shift for a lot of people because we look at things as right and wrong, good and bad. But it's just different.
Yes.
Everything's different. Yeah. Well, it sounds so good. Sounds like you've been doing a lot of really cool projects. Do you have any big shows coming up that you want to tell people about? And tell us a little bit too about the next soundscape that you're working on as well.
Yeah, I've been thinking in recording and or releasing an EP with my compositions, but I'm thinking about inviting other artists because when I lived in Ireland 2011, I'm I've worked with great musicians there, and I was thinking about inviting like a singer from Ireland and another friend from France and someone from the US and working together like in some music and recording an EP like 5 or 6 songs and release like with it's kind of my way to look at that songs. I mean, I can take some tune from a friend and put my arrangement or and try to. It's all about connections.
That's right. That sounds like a wonderful project and a great way to kind of stretch out and incorporate a few different sounds into one EP.
Yes,
That's really cool.
because in Ireland I had great experience with Celtic music and like music from Europe in general. And in the US, I had great experience with soul and jazz. And but I I would love to take my vision about that kind of music, and put all together in an album and make
Mm.
some different arrangements with some Brazilian taste or Latin taste. Yeah.
I love a great samba and I love bossa nova.
Wow,
I love it.
that's
Love it.
awesome.
Love it. I'm all for hearing some more of that. Actually, I'm all for singing some more of that. I haven't, that's one thing I have not tackled. I've sung in, uh, mm, I think it would be. I think it would be Portuguese. I think I sung in one time. It was either Portuguese or Brazilian. And I
Mm.
know there's different dialects, but um, it might have been Portuguese one time. It was many years ago. And
That's
it is the
amazing.
coolest sounding language. It's so pretty and it's filled with ooshes and ooh.
Yeah, it's
Sound
amazing.
yeah, so yeah, I think I'm gonna tackle some samba. That sounds fun.
Nice.
That sounds like a good time. Maybe we can do a project together. That would be a
Yeah,
blast.
actually, we can put your, if you have some composition or lyrics, we can work together and put in this EP. I don't know.
Great.
Feel free
That sounds
to
great.
send me.
Maybe I'll do a piece for you to put on that. That might be fun. Maybe
Yeah, it's
like
been amazing.
this American chick doing samba. Who does she think she is?
Yeah, let's do that.
But you know what? It's very popular here from jazz, bossa nova, and samba, and had a really, really big era like during the 50s on through to the 60s, early 70s was a huge era for that here. And I grew up listening to some samba
Wow.
and bossa because of my father. He's into jazz and he played alto sax himself. So I grew up listening to that as well. So
Wow.
um, yeah, really cool. Music is just so inspiring and just
Yes.
it just changes the way you see things and how
Yeah.
you feel the world around you. It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to put everything together. I mean, I grew up listening to samba and bossa nova because I'm from Brazil, but I grew up listening to Motown records and like
Mm,
Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder,
nice.
and it's not jazz, but in some way I have a huge influence by funk and Motown music. And bossa
Ooh.
nova came from the jazz, like bossa nova
Okay.
had a huge influence by jazz. And like if you put everything together, it's all about movement, music, and
That's
feelings.
right.
You know?
That's right. It's a delicious gumbo when you put it all together.
Yeah.
It works. Well, this is so cool. So tell us about upcoming concerts and things that you have going on because you're performing and you're doing some big stuff. Any concert dates or performances you'd like to share with people?
Yeah. Actually, I have a concert. In this month, I'm working more at the studio,
Okay.
uh, like with my toys.
Yes, I
Uh,
love those toys. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I
Yeah.
love it.
All
Yeah,
right.
January and February, I've been finishing some productions. I mean, I'm working more at the studio right now. And end of February, we have a carnival. It's a huge party, and I'm gonna stop for some days just to relaxing and you know
That's a
and
dream to get out there for Carnival. Like that's amazing because that's like a whole like that happens all over the place, right? It's not in just one location.
yeah, it's all of the like Brazil in general we just stop for carnival, and we have a lot of parties, around. And this year I'm not working at carnival, and I will just enjoy.
Good
But
for
yeah, in March I have a lot of shows and concerts because I've been working with a wedding band,
okay.
and at the same time producing some artists. So sometimes I have like original music concert, and sometimes I have covers or wedding band playing, and
Nice.
yeah. But
Oh,
yeah, in March I have some shows. Yeah, I intend to January and February put more, maybe record a video or during my working process. I mean, making arrangements or sharing with
Yeah.
different teams. I don't know. I don't have a plan for now, but I have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of things to record. So maybe I'm gonna try to make some videos or, you know.
That would be great. Just any kind of way that we can stay posted to like what's going on currently.
Yeah.
And there are people who are subscribers who I have here who are over that direction. So you never know if you've got a show or something coming up and
Yeah.
they can see.
You
Maybe
know.
they'll be in the
You
space
know
to come
what?
check.
I'm a shy guy. That's why I don't use to share like my Instagram. I sometimes I used to share something on Instagram, but I'm a shy guy. you know.
Hey, be shy, but share just enough so that way we can support and
Yeah.
cheer you on with all this cool stuff you're doing. I think it's great, and we're just watching you continue to just bloom and expand into an even more extraordinary music
Okay.
producer. Yeah, we're able to come along with you on that journey. So that's why I'm so happy you're able to come on today and just share what's going on with you in the new year, and how the soundscapes are going, and projects that you're working on, and just how that those things related to music are affecting and helping move along those goals and
Yeah.
things that you're working on this year. So thank you for coming and sharing that.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do it. No, the other thing about the bossa nova and the samba, like seriously, let's do that. I think that the way I did it before, it was in studio, and I learned the words on the spot, and I just did them a few times, and I recorded them verse by verse so that way I could make sure the accent was correct. And then we just went right in and recorded, and that was the way that we did it. So if you have lyrics or you have a general idea of what you want the song to be saying, um, we can like get it translated and then I can perform the vocal or whatever. But this would be a really cool collabo because we'd be doing it
Absolutely.
overseas. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, sounds good. So is there anything else you want to share with us, Binho, in your little update here, and just touching base with us and about all the cool things you're working on? Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, actually, please follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna try to share more info or more videos, more music in my Instagram channel. It's Bihno Manenti, and then we can put some titles on the video.
Right. So Bihno Manenti, it's
Yeah.
Binho.
M,
Is that
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then it's Manenti.
that's right, guys. You
Yeah.
heard it here, right here.
Yeah.
C4L Coaching for Life, the amazing, phenomenal Brazilian music
Oh,
producer, Bihno Manenti. We had him here live with us. You heard about the upcoming warm soundscapes for you to meditate with. We'll be releasing the water soundscape very shortly. And also that he is performing again, and that he will be posting some things, some pics, and some information on his Instagram. So please do check him out and follow him.
ooh,
Thank you for
thank
being
you
here
so
with us,
much.
Binho. This is your girl Tara with Coaching for Life, our wonderful guest, Bihno Manenti. And please stay tuned for our next video. We'll be releasing some new ones coming up here soon for 2020. Lots to talk about, a lot of information coming across my virtual desk, as I call it. So definitely we have some topics that we'll be discussing. Once again, this is your girl Tara with Coaching for Life. So grateful to be here with you, and thank you. Bye-bye.